Hello everybody, it's Turn8 with another turn for the Civil War by Victory Games, designed by Eric Lee Smith. Reminder, this game is out of print, and I am using WGA rules having to do with leaders and the amount of points you can actually use in an army when you attack. I'm playing with the optional rule of Jackson and Lyon do not die, so that's why you see Lyon in charge of the Army of the Potomac at the moment. South's basically in it for the long haul, trying to prevent the North from getting a victory by turn 19. If I do really well, I might prevent them from winning the election in turn 17 and end the game at that point. You'll notice I have a fair number of points sitting in Chattanooga. Ultimately, the South is going to try to build their 5th fortress there. They have one in Wilmington, one in Richmond, of course. Chattanooga would be 3. I also have one down here in where are you? New Orleans. In New Orleans, and I will ultimately build one in Vicksburg. Those 5 forts in those places force the Union to take time in order to capture Mississippi and convert it. And in order to cut the Mississippi, they will take at least 2, possibly 3 attacks on New Orleans before they can do that. My game here with the South is delay, delay, delay. The longer I can delay the Union from scoring vast amounts of victory points, the better off I am. Chattanooga, with all of its gaps and things, and the fact that the Union can't really supply itself properly to make a decent attack on Chattanooga, basically can keep Tennessee from being converted for a very long time. As you'll see here at the end of turn 8, the victory points are not looking good. By the way, when I was trying to figure out what naval move I made, I had moved Porter with all of the stuff that was sitting here on the Cumberland. I left one ironclad back to basically cut that river line down to Nashville and up towards the Ohio, and this leaves me the ability to try and cut rivers. You'll probably see an ironclad move down here to cut the Tennessee River. Again, it's just to keep supply open for the Union down the rivers and to cut the mobility of the. Pretty soon here, the South is going to cut loose these cavalry leaders, and if I can cut their mobility down, it will keep them from just running around across these rivers and stuff. So with that said, let's get to the reveal and move forward. Both went primary in the west again. Again, there's a lot to do there. The east is kind of bogging down into a slugfest, and until I can resolve some things in the west, I'm going to have to just sort of deal with that. And then Union gets an 8, so not the best, but something. Do have 3 naval command points. And then CSA rolls a 7, so they up theirs. They did get 2 discretionary points, which is important for them because that means they can bring in another commerce raider, which over time can give me some free command point, free victory points if I start getting enough ships sunk. So we go into the commerce raiders, and I chose not to spend a naval point because I saw that I had a grand total of 4 here. So I thought I could get some naval things in and then possibly have Foote go off and do something, or Porter do something, depending on how I want to do that. In retrospect, I probably should have gone ahead and spent the odd point, but I didn't. And of course, he rolled an 11, so if I had spent the point, would have sank it without being able to sink a single to score any points at all, and kick myself for that. So ship sunk is up to 11, halfway to a victory point, roughly. Okay, I was putting down some initiatives. Checked the production, they were down to 98. Imports at 33 times 20%, so for the table that's 26, so they're at 118. They're starting to get close, so they want to get their forts built and some depots built so that they don't have to spend extra command points to do all that. And it was a 4 in favor of the Union. Take a leader in the Army of the Potomac. And then I believe I was moving Lyon and then tried to come across the Potomac, across the non-navigable riverside. Again, trying to get Bobby to attack me. Lee reacts, finally gets to react, so he goes ahead and takes the combat because he's got some leaders too that he wants to try and get promoted, like Jackson. Moved the stack so I could see all the leaders. So when I added it all up, I was allowed to use 22 in the Union because of the the WGA's rules. I have a 2-star and a 1-star cavalry, two 1-star cavalries, and 3 guys here. So that was 20. It was 18, 19, 20, and the 2 cavalry leaders let me get up to 22. Defenders get to use their full strength points. I'm not sure I really like that because it makes it easier for the defending armies to always be at full strength. But that's the way the rule is written, so. And then I was shifted down 1 because of the die rolls, because of the terrain of the river. So I got a 5 plus 10 was a D3. And then CSA got a net 11, so they're on the D3. So Lion's like, I'm happy to take a D3, D3 and retreat. But Lee says, nah, Union, reroll your die. And then I rolled a 1. So now it's only a D2, a net 6. The Lion says, I'll reroll my own. Gets back that 5, so he's back up to a D3. And Lee says, no, I'll reroll that again. And I got a 3, which is down to a D2, which is the best the CSA can hold for, because you saw the one before was still a D2. So they will pass, and we're forced to retreat and re-roll. So they lose 3, the Union loses 3, the CSA loses 2, and we both get DMs here. And then I'm going to start having to Union top to bottom. Lion's okay. Pleasanton gets wounded, of course, so no promotion for him. Stoneman okay, and Pope, not Pop, was up for promotion. Hancock is okay. Steele got up to being up for a promotion. Thomas got up for a promotion. Then the CSA went and did theirs. Lee's fine. Snake Eyes Early's okay, but he can't get promoted. Hood is okay, but can't get promoted. Jackson's okay, but can't get promoted. I think, and I put this note in, I think Jeff Davis is playing politics with his generals because 3 guys just all survived the battle, but he's like, yeah, you won, but I don't think you should be promoted. Longstreet was okay. And was okay. So, and then I spent 2 more of my east command points to rally the Army of the Potomac right away. What's going on here? Playing around with desperation morales. And the CSA obviously rallies the Army of Northern Virginia, so we don't have to worry about being attacked that way. And then I brought in the Florida, so I'll have 2 Commerce Raiders for next turn. And then we went to a 7, so we got down to a 2 differential. They took a free army over in the Army of the Mississippi. And 2 discretionaries in the east for 3. Oh, I was forgetting to lose my my CPs over in the east to and I know that the last leader was Joe, so he takes command of the army, so I won't be giving 2 rerolls to Grant. Now I just need to get Van Dorn out of there so I don't give him a +1 as well. And the Army of Tennessee goes up a point. Actually, I think that point can't actually go in there. Oh no, I can go up to 12. And the Army of the Potomac, I think, picked up a point as well. So, not sure why I was. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. I think I rolled 2 dice instead of 1 to get a leader. So I just took the first die roll of it. And then, oh, that was my note there. And then it's a 4 to an 11, so we're going to have like a 7 die differential here. Should be able to use up a bunch of our command points. I think I used up all 6. Placed a fort and then a fortress. So I made Vicksburg into a fortress in 1 turn. And Chattanooga became a fort. So I'm on my way to making my fortress dreams come true. Rosie here, I think, decides to start. He says, I need to make a move on Nashville. So he's going to move around this way. And then Johnston failed to react to him. So then I tried to move into him. And this time Johnston was able to react. And he says, no, thank you. I'm going to run back into Nashville. Which could put Rosecrans into a hurt because if Johnston moves down south and then northeast, he could actually pin the Army of the Cumberland against the river, which would be very bad. Did some strength point silliness here. Porter and the hidden leader spent 2 naval, and he's going down the mighty Mississippi. And then he's going to pass Vicksburg, which will get 2 shots as he goes by. A 5 does a damage, so I lose an ironclad, and then another 5, and so I lose the other ironclad. And everybody moves down to Baton Rouge. His defender is 1+1 for the city. The attacker is 4 strength points. 4 divided by 2 for the trans. So that became a total of 6, 3-to-1 table. Both sides get +1 because I had McLaren in there. That 5 is a D2, and he gets a 3. Baton Rouge is captured. Louisiana militia will come out and will be Porter is okay, and then I get McLaren killed. So another Union leader dies. And so he goes ahead and puts his strength point in Port Hudson. To make that be a 3 there, if he was to try and invade it again. Then I used built a depot right away in Baton Rouge so that I would stay in supply. Oh yeah, that was CSA was in ahead of that one. They went ahead and built those forts and fortresses and stuff. So we go on to the next pulse and we get a big split in favor of the Union. And then took an army in Cairo. And again, took a third one. Finally got a guy that would be then I took foot with a whole bunch of strength points and navies and ironclads and a leader. And we went sailing down to Florida at Jackson. It's 4 strength points plus 2 for the transports. So I'm a total of 6. He is 1 for the hex, 1 strength point, 1 city, so he's 3. So we're on the 2-to-1 column. I rolled a 6 plus 1 for the naval leader, gives me a D2. He rolled a 6, but at small, he simply gets a D on me, so I take the hex. And I actually reversed the Sedgwick is on top. So normally I go top to bottom, so it would have been Sedgwick and then Foot. Sedgwick gets promoted, Foot gets wounded and has to go off the board for this turn. So I take the Florida militia in Tallahassee to make sure that he has to actually fight a battle there. It gives me a chance to possibly keep Florida from being converted. St. Augustine would have been too easily cut off from supply and therefore would have just died. Would have lost it anyway, so not sure what I did here. I think Bobby Lee went and did something. I'm not sure exactly what I did there. One die differential. At this point, the South is basically out. Because also they don't have any leaders, so the South is just biding time while the U.S. is unloading everything that it's got to unload. Curtis has to go in whatever army he's supposed to be in. And it was a big enough split that the U.S. can't really do anything. I took Sheridan, he was a promotion counter. And I just had to spend the moved a strength point up somewhere, and then the turn ends. So, poof, and golly gee whiz, I never quite got to get off the attack for Grant in the west. I did manage to run down here and grab Baton Rouge, although I lost the leader to let me move overland, so that kind of defeated the purpose of that move. And then Foote, of course, got wounded over here trying to take Jacksonville. So he gets another table use out of that. I lost a strength point there in Florida, but I am in supply. So if we were to end the game here, the Union has 46 victory points. The CSA has 21, so that's 25. And that is a CSA marginal victory, just one victory point away from a CSA substantial victory. So at turn 8, with only 10, possibly 9 turns, as many as 11 turns left, if this Union can get something going and get to that 50 victory point margin in turn 17. Right now, the CSA is, I mean, the Union has to get 25 victory points ahead of the CSA in the next 8-9 turns. So things are not looking that great for the Union. They do have full army, full army sitting here in the east, but my armies in the west are having a terrible time trying to engage. It means that people like Sherman here can't get that 3-star promotion, which is what I really need in order to make things work. So that being delayed is causing me some havoc as well. At least the Army of the Potomac can keep up with Robert E. Lee if he tries to do anything. And we're kind of at a stalemate here in North Carolina, which is what usually ends up happening. We just kind of sit and stare at each other for a while. I probably will build a fort here at New Bern, maybe put another strength point in there to keep the Confederates from running in and taking me over. And then hopefully Sedgwick can mount some kind of a capture St. Augustine and maybe move on New Brunswick. Not really sure. Next turn we'll have 2 raider rolls. Anyway, there's turn 8. The Confederates are way ahead right now in the victory point totals. We'll have to see how this plays out. I'm Turn8. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Leave me comments. I will respond in time. Life gets in the way of playing games, of course. And until we get back to here for turn 9, stay safe and bye-bye.